I've got a few examples. This is a story about how direct communication is so healthy, honest, and freeing. And coming from someone that used to be indirect, and I see the indirectness in my life, and I'm so glad that I'm not like that anymore. And I have mastered the art of becoming more direct and being honest, which is so great. If it's something that you want to achieve, these are some of the ways that I figured it out. And I've used that with 12-step programs and doing the work. One example, I'll start small, is sometimes in the rooms you'll see someone go, oh, the Kleenex box is so far away, or it's just so cold in here. And then everyone, comes into the rescue, helps take care of the person, which, as trying to become someone that is taking care of myself and focusing on myself and learning how to live my own life and lead my own life in an honest way, the correct way to work on this stuff, maybe the room is too bright. And I go, oh, it's so bright in here. Very indirect. But to be direct would mean, I would say, can someone please pass the Kleenex box? Can someone please turn the heat on? Can someone please turn the lights down? Here's another story. There's a function, and the woman who is organizing the function is ran out and came back in and ran in back into the function at the time that the function was supposed to start. But some of the guests came early, and so the guests show up, and the function is just about to start. Now, not a big deal. Everybody's really close. Everybody's friends. Everyone knows each other, and the cleaning service people are still there. So the lady that's having a panic goes, catastrophizes and goes, you got to go. Cancels the cleaning service. You just go. Just stop everything and leave. And then the guests are there, and everyone's chill. But because this woman is feeling chaotic and feeling out of control, she's acting out in those ways, and it's coming out in her behavior. So she's canceling the cleaning lady, and the cleaning lady is fine, but she's like, you know what? I was already done. It's all good. So she's already fine, and that's taken care of. But the woman that's feeling chaotic is projecting the chaotic feelings out, and it's coming out sideways. So she's using her control, and she's going, okay, like, you just got to go. But the lady's going. Now the guests are here. And so the woman that's feeling overwhelmed, instead of asking for what she needs, dysfunctionally, she starts to blame. And this takes that attention away from yourself, like from myself. And the lady goes, just give me a minute. Like, just back off. Like, what are you doing? I just need a minute, like no one's giving me a minute. So I find this story so interesting because the woman is not asking for what she needs. And she's blaming everybody for rushing her because she feels rushed. And the guests are all chill. No one's upset. It's all just, maybe they're a little early. Like, it's not a big deal. But because that woman is feeling so chaotic, she's blasting out the paranoia, and she's making a thing out of nothing in this situation. What could have happened if a person is trying to be healthier? What that would look like would be, thank you to the cleaning services. Sorry we are all here a little early, or it's all happening at once. Could you stop and move on for the day? Or the lady was already leaving, so no problem. The other thing is, she could have asked for what she needed, and she could have said, I just need 1 minute. Can everyone just sit here? I just need a minute. Instead of the blaming, instead of you're pressuring me, no one's giving me time. So acting like a victim, acting like I'll just say this and someone will come rescue me. If you're trying, like if I'm trying to become a healthier person and an honest person, then I want to be direct and I want to ask for what I need. I have to do that work. I can put things on others all day long if I want. I can remain that person. I can be that person. I can say, oh, I'm just so cold, and never ask for someone to turn the heat on. And I can stay in that victim mode. No one needs me to change or wants me to change. I can just remain being a victim. But the point of this recovery stuff, like what I've been learning, what I've been seeing, is I'm trying to get out of victim mode. I'm trying to say, what do I need here? I need to ask for what I want. I need to be clear. I need to be direct. I need to work through that fear of being honest and standing up for myself in all ways that I can. And that means if I'm cold, I say, can you please put the heat on? That means if I'm feeling overwhelmed and pressured because guests arrive, I say, I need a minute here. I'm feeling rushed. I'm feeling pressured. And that's taking ownership of myself. That's taking healthy action in how do I take care of myself in this moment. I feel this. What do I do? What do I ask for? What are the instructions? And to say that and do that sincerely and gently. So indirectness, or like being passive, or, oh, I hate how there's always a mess in this room and no one ever cleans up around here. That would be a form of indirect communication. Instead of saying, can someone go down there and clean that room up, please? I need it done by today. I need it done by 3:00. If it is not done by that time, I'm going to remind you later, and then I'm going to have to figure out some kind of consequence. Like I have to lay out everything to be accountable, to be honest, to stick up for what I need. But I can always stay and be a victim as long as I want to. But this is like, if you're really trying to move past this kind of stuff and into a more honest lane and more effective, efficient lane, and become more honest, like these are some of those hard steps. And so what I've learned is that it's really hard to start being direct. It's hard to start anything. And so becoming a direct communicator is working through those little things that happen and working through that fear and doing what's honest for me. So if I have a problem with the kids not being fast at getting off their tablets and we have to go, right? It's like, oh, you guys don't get off those in time. That would be like an indirect way for me to communicate to my children. When I could say, I need you to get off of those in 5 minutes, or if you want to have more computer time later. So I have to ask for what I need to lay out that instruction. If someone's always late, I say, oh man, you're always late. Can't you be on time? That would be an indirect way to communicate. Instead, I would say, hey, I need you to be here at 8 a.m. Okay, that person fails to show up at that time at 8 a.m. I would now effectively communicate, I've said my need, and now I'm going to have to say a boundary because this has not rolled out for the 8 a.m. start time. So then I say, if we cannot make the 8 a.m. time, then can you please come here for 7:45? So I'm moving in my life with my boundaries, and I'm moving in my life with my communication and my directness, because I'm voicing what I need and I'm being honest about it. But there's no need I don't need to get all huffy and be like, you're never going to be on time. Then I'm just being not very nice to that person. So this brings up another thing that I hear a lot in the rooms is, especially in Codependents Anonymous, is say what you mean, but don't say it mean. I love that. It's so true. And I have to start operating in that way in my life. I have to say what I mean, what I need, what is honest to me. I need to say that and just be clear and be done with it. And that is such a great gift to be able to operate in a direct way, voicing for what I need. And it's even greater coming across other people that voice their needs in a direct way, because you just know that you're getting what you're getting. And it takes away all of that insecurity and that weirdness that you feel when someone's just being a bit sideways about something, like, because it leaves you with like, I'm a little confused, and now I'm a little bit upset by just that you're so upset. Like, why are you so upset? Like, just tell me what you need. Like, what's going on? And instead of feeling blamed about something. So being blamed for something doesn't really get to the point of it all. It's just a sideways way of trying to get something you want, but it's not a clear path. So being direct, it's a clear path. It's right there. There's no guessing. It's easier to trust people that are direct. It's easier for other people to trust me when I'm direct and say what I need and when I'm consistent with that. When I voice that, I'm being open. I'm being honest. I'm working in my truth. I'm becoming more and more comfortable sticking up for my truth, living in my truth, and being this accountable person. And, in AA in the beginning there, it was just like, be honest, be accountable. And I always had trouble with like, well, how? Like, how do I do that? And there's a lot of little things in a lot of little ways to learn how to become accountable. And having direct communication is one of those things. Seems so hard at the start, but it's a gift. It's a gift to be in that way and operate in that way and have people understand and respect you, that there's nothing to hide. There's no guessing. There's no questioning. There's no anxiety. There's no wondering what's going on. It's just the truth is right there. And it's not mean. It's just the way I need it to be. I have to communicate what I need. I have to communicate instructions for my life if they're going to, for the chance that they might show up that way. So this is on me. So it's a path that just can cut through stuff so much more nicely by developing this tool. And it just comes with trying it, like one thing after another. The thing that I need is in my mind. So I discover what that is. And then I come up with what's an effective way to communicate that need. And without the expectation of whether they're going to receive that or not. Just because I communicate one thing directly one time doesn't mean that it's going to happen like that every time and forever. I'm going to have to continue to communicate directly forever. Like, that's my commitment. It's like I'm making a change here. I'm not going to go flippy floppy and back and forth. I want to be honest. I want to be direct. I want to make the change. So how do I make that change? And I make it and I stay consistent with it. And the change becomes a part of me. And then that becomes less effort. There's less effort that goes into that in the future. And that less effort means freedom. So the thing presents itself, like in my mind, the thing that I need, and instead I can be all reactive and go, why is it always like this? And why can't it be like that? Instead, I can operate in a way of just going, how do I need it to be? How do I want it to be? What would this moment look like? Ideally, what would this moment look like if it went like this way? And like I imagine and play the tape for how it would look if this could be a better way. And so it's almost like I'm having a conversation with my higher self in that moment, and I'm figuring out the information. I take that time and that pause. That person is reacting in a way, and or I'm reacting in a way, and I'm trying to figure out like, why is this not okay with me? Instead of blurting out like, why are you always like this, or why is it always a mess here, and why are the kids always blah, blah, blah? Like, instead of it's like, well, how do I want it to look? Like, what does that look like? And then when I know what that looks like in my mind, then I can communicate what would be one simple instruction here that just cuts the path to communicate what I need. Because there's just a need that I have, And so I pinpoint that need, and I communicate that need in a direct way, in a nice way. And then no one's getting their feelings hurt. No one's feeling pressured, blamed, feeling like they did something wrong because they showed up to a party or they didn't clean fast enough. Like, if I want to have healthy and loving relationships, these behaviors would be ways that I would cut that out. Because how's that helping my relationship with a cleaning service? How is my relationship with my guests when I'm blaming them as they walk in the door early? Like, where's that respect? That respectfulness is not, I can't expect it to. How's that going to roll out? Like, I want to have respectful, loving, healthy relationships in my life. I want to be honest. I got to communicate in a nice, honest way. And it's got to be that change. Like, I'm making that change. And whenever I make those changes that stick, I get the freedom on the other side. So I still get the need met eventually. Maybe I got to say it a few times. And with time and effort, it's going to get heard. It's going to get heard in a better way because I'm saying it nicely. I'm saying what I mean, and I'm on repeat and moving in my life in a more effective way because I'm becoming more okay with living my own truth. I'm becoming more okay with being honest with myself and with you. And when I just keep continuing in that way, that uncomfortableness doesn't stay forever. Like it does go away. I just become more comfortable with my own truth. And then it just becomes the way I act. It just becomes the way I communicate. But I gotta push through those walls. Like I gotta change the way I talk, how I talk. Am I really getting what I want because I say something in a sideways way? Or am I just making people guess? And is that really effective? Am I really building trust? Does somebody really want to respect and trust me when I'm always blaming and saying things in a sideways way? Maybe not. So it's verbally and like living in that truth and just trying to get that truth out at every chance that I can get. So that means asking for what I need. And that just helps so much with my relationships and then becoming a freer person on the other side. So I used to think that I do not really like it when people are too direct and aggressive. Like there's definitely a balance to this because that can also push people away. And then that aggressiveness is like an avoidant pattern, right? So it is a delicate act, and it's scary to do something new and feel like you're being harsh. Like directness comes with a harshness because I'm so used to being indirect and passive. But that directness can just start being like a gentle form of communication. Like it is something to finesse. And as that, it's really hard to go back. Like I find even just by being more direct and learning out just like how to do that in a gentle way, in a sincere way, I pretty much am not being indirect anymore because it feels weird to go back the other way. So it works so much better being direct and having like effective, respectful communication. And that really does enhance my relationships. So thank you for listening. I really appreciate you being here. And this is just my little take on being direct and living more honestly and communicating more honestly to foster and host healthy, loving relationships in my life, and how it just clears the air. And it's just awesome to be able to do that. But it came from breaking through a lot of fear and trying. So thank you so much for being here. And I hope you got something. So thanks.